Alright. We are live on all platforms. Just wait a little while. And I think now it's time we get started. So yeah, today we are hopefully setting up for the final stretch. I don't think we'll finish today just because production times are going to be long, but hopefully the plan is by the end of the day we will have basic setups for all 4 final project parts. We need to unlock one of them first, so let's do that. Alright, so I need to grab more, what's it called? Superposition oscillators. And just one more stack of radio control units. Throw those in. We hit launch, and off we go.
Milestone reached. Instant travel between chosen locations will be possible as soon as the main and satellite portals are built and paired.
Alright, cool. That seems like something I'm not going to do.
I don't understand dimensional dispersal theory and the crosswarp applications of liminal peer-regulated parallel fibrillator nanocells, for example. But because you do not need to know, you go in one end, you come out the other. It's a door.
Oh
Thankfully,
boy.
the construction of project part number 12, the ballistic warp drive, can be automated and requires no manual input from you, so I'd say we're relatively safe. If you disagree about my assessment of your capabilities, you are free to attempt a study and replication of either portal or warp technology after you're done with project assembly.
Alright, we've done that. So now we have nuclear pasta all set up and running, and I think I was off stream for this, but I just like maxed this out so it's going as fast as possible. Required some basic upgrades to the copper powder setup as well, but nothing particularly interesting. So that should have us be set for nuclear pasta. The next thing we need are the biomechanical sculptors, which... what do those need? Biomechanical sculptors need assembly directory systems, fixite trigons, and water. And a lot of fixite trigons. So these require supercomputers and ACUs. Have I been constructing these? I have 150-ish of them in a box somewhere. And I think that's enough, right? So this is 1 to 4. I need 1,000, which means I need 250 of these, but if I summer sloop it, I need 125. So yeah, this current quantity should be enough, assuming I have summer sloop, which I should be able to find that somewhere. I have been using summer sloop a lot, and I sort of lost track of where most of it is. But at any rate, if we have those, the next thing we need are fixite trigons. And I don't have a convenient supply of those nearby, but I do have this, which is a convenient supply of reanimated SAM. I also have an iron ore thing that I'm not using. So what if I just shove a splitter on there? Belt that out. Let's get a foundation for this. Just something really quick and simple. And then we can power on this random iron ore miner. And with those two things together, we can have... Is it assembler? No, it's a converter, right? Please stop overlapping with things. Alright, so this is apparently not a good spot. Is it because there's all this stuff above it? Alright, that's fine. We will use this space over here then. So we get a converter. We get fixite ingot iron. And now we just have to have some floor holes in here. There. And there. And then we drop down. We bring the conveyor lifts. Oh, they have to be reversed. Because I'm doing this backwards. Alright, so that is that. Then the iron comes along here. And goes in there. Now we have to take them out of the conveyor lifts and into the machine. And this conveyor lift needs to be Mark 3 to deal with the iron fast enough. Oh, we need to power this on. Alright, so that is powered on. So that is 10 fixite ingots a minute. So now we can make 30 fixite trigons a minute, which is probably not going to be anywhere near sufficient. Oh, this is iron ore, and that needs iron ingots. Whoopsies. Alright. We can fix this. Needs a lot of iron ingots, too. So let's get a smelter manifold in. And let's see, if we place this like this, we will be able to fit the most smelters in. And we need to get it to line up. I should be using the hover pack for this. Where is the alignment? There it is. Alright, so then we take this. We hook the iron into these smelters. And we probably just need to get an actually good power pole. So we power all of these machines on and tell them to make iron. And this is fortunately just 1-to-1, so it works out the same. This manifold is going backwards. We need more foundations over this way, obviously. You're really running up into the space elevator here, but we can get around it. Now we just need to put this back in, pull all of the iron ore off, and boom, done. And will this be enough? So that these machines alone will be half. So we just got to overclock them all to 200% to manage all of that. Alright, that's 240 iron ingots, which will be enough to run all of this. Which means Fixite Trigons are good to go. Now we have a box for them. This is going to be 30 a minute. Okay, now the next thing we need is water. Which, is there any conveniently up here that I could grab? No, we're going to have to head down there to grab some water. I don't suppose I can place it from all the way up here. No, obviously not. Alright, well, we're going to drop down. We are going to kill some hatchers. Please. The water stopped my crouch. Alright. Hatcher's done. Now let's get a water extractor or two. I don't know how much water I'm going to need for this, so 2 ought to be good enough. And let's power them on with this power pole over here. Alright, now we need to get this water pipe all the way up there, which will be fun. So let's place a wall like that, and then down, and then down, and then down, and then down the rest of the way. Alright, so now we can bring this pipe up this wall. And then pipeline pump Mark II. A good couple of them. Power them up. And there we have it. That should bring the water all the way up here. Alright, now we need... What machine was this even made in? A blender? Alright, so now we just plop a blender in. Everything is conveniently on the wrong side of everything. Alright, so we need to take the Fixite Trigons around and in there. We need to take the water up and in there. And then finally we just need a storage container facing roughly that way. And we need to power this on and then bring the assembly directory systems over. How many fixed site trigons is this going to need? 40 a minute. Alright, so it needs hardly any water, needs a significant chunk of fixed site trigons, and of course hardly any assembly directory systems. Now we are not going to turn this on immediately because I need to scrounge up some summer sloops to use for it first, otherwise what we have here won't be sufficient. So let's turn that off and fill this box with, where are they? Alright. So this will be filling up with those. We really need to get this started, which means I need to find some summer sloops. Are these slooped? No. Alright, this versatile framework thing is summer slooped. You can probably yoink from that, and it's so hard to tell. Probably need a lot more, so I'll just throw some more steel beams into this. It's not going to be summer slooped, which means it won't be as efficient now, but whatever. And then this is creating these, which I think is fine. We don't need these summer sloops. We have tons of those. Alright, so we have found the summer sloops to set that up. So you get summer slooped, you get turned on, and full blast that. 10 a minute will be 100 minutes, so like an hour and a half. So let's loop this around and bring it down into the space elevator, shall we? And there we go. That is that. That is 2 elevator parts set up. Fixed site trigons are going to be a bit of a problem because this setup is using 100 of them a minute, and this is producing a whopping 30 a minute. Now we can't easily increase this because the iron ingots are being used as fast as possible, so let's do the other option of just throwing these in manually. So we can draw from the dimensional storage to help out a little bit with that. How many fixed site trigons are needed overall? It's 80 for 8. So it's 10 to 1. So I need 10,000 fixed site trigons if I'm doing the math right. That's a lot. That's a lot indeed. Well, we'll worry about that later. The important part is that it is going to be working, even if slowly. So now we need to get AI expansion servers. We only need 256 of these, which means we need 256 of each of these, but we can have it. Actually, do we have enough magnetic field generators to just not summer sloop it? 100, 200, 300. Yes, we do have enough to not summer sloop that and be fine. So let's set up that machine, which I guess there's space here. What machine was it? Quantum encoder. Of course, the annoyingly large one. Alright. We found space to place the quantum encoder. Now we set that up. It needs excited photonic matter, which, yeah, so actually this is going to need a bit more space because it also has to deal with byproducts and such. So let's actually hop over here to deal with that. And build a nice, long, and somewhat wide foundation. Alright. Quantum encoder placed. Give me a bit more space on this side. So we need a converter, which makes excited photonic matter. And we need to power these machines on, obviously. And that needs 100 a minute. This is making 200 a minute. So we can set that to... Actually, no. I mean, we're going to be overclocking that thing, so... I think proactively, actually, we should set that to 250. Because we are going to be max overclocking this one, since we have everything we need to make it already. So now we just set down 1, 2, 3 boxes, and we feed them into, oh, that wasn't the furthest in one, so we feed them to 1, 2, 3 outputs. And so we need neural quantum processors. That's 1. We need super precision oscillators. That's 2. And we need these things over here. 100, 200, 300. So we then feed those in there. And this will make AI expansion servers and dark matter residue. So we just purely need to get rid of the dark matter residue. So let's get a... Actually, let's go to hoverpack mode. It's so much more convenient. Especially for building these large things. Alright, so let's get some space over there. And put in a particle accelerator. Set to dark matter crystallization. And we bring this pipe around and in. That makes 100 a minute. So then this will make... That will make some of that, and we just need to power that on and then sync the outputs. Alright. So now, hang on. We do actually need the intended output of this to get out. So that goes there. And then these can loop back around to the space elevator. Does this? Yes, that hooks into the space elevator. We just need to take some random junk off of this belt first. Goodbye, spare magnetic field generators. And is there one more in there? There is not. Alright. I guess I did forget to overclock this. So let me head over and do that. So that's overclocked, which means we are going to need to fix this reactor to deal with everything. Alright, so that will be 10 a minute. So those will be done in no time. That's 3 of the 4 set up. And then finally we need ballistic warp drives, which are going to be a bit more of a tall order. We need lots of dark matter crystals. So that means, actually, let's not sync these. Let's put them in a box first. And then I guess we can smart splitter left as overflow, because that might be a problem. Alright, so we have dark matter crystals. And then we need superposition oscillators, thermopropulsion rockets, and singularity cells. I have thermopropulsion rockets in here somewhere. Singularity cells I'm going to have to make. I think they're kind of complicated. Is this the thermopropulsion rocket setup? Yes, it is. So I need cooling systems, turbo motors, modular engines, which need motors. I don't need a huge number of these. So probably no real need to summer sloop this. And need like 100. Although I do need this to not go down into the space elevator. I need it to stick around up here. Go into a box. Alright, so we also need to fill this up with the modular frames, cooling systems, and turbo motors. Fuse modular frames into one. Turbo motors into another. And cooling systems into the third. I have more turbo motors to put in here, I guess. Alright, so that should give me plenty. Probably. If it doesn't, we'll have to revisit this. But I only need, like... How many do I need? It's 1-to-1, so I need 100 of them, or 200, potentially. Alright, next up, singularity cells are going to be a bit more of a hassle, but it's nuclear pasta. Okay. So let's find a nice convenient location to make singularity cells. Like another floor. Alright. So now we have this new floor here. And where does singularity cells get made even? Just in manufacturers. Alright. So, we have this making singularity cells. So we need 4 boxes for each of those things. And I think we're not gonna produce anything immediately here. We're just going to ship everything in. And by ship everything in, I mean I'm gonna carry them, probably. Except for maybe the iron plates and concrete might be too many. Yeah, that's a lot of iron plates and concrete. Alright. So in terms of nuclear pasta... So wait, how many of these do we need? We need 5 per one, which is really going to be 5 per 2. So we need like 500 of them, which is 50 batches. Which means we need like 50 nuclear pasta. And hang on. We need 50. So we need 500 singularity cells, which is 50 batches, because they are made in batches of 10. And I could alternatively sloop this, which means I need 50 pasta. 200 times 50 is 1,000 DMC. 100 times 50 is 5,000 iron plates. And 10,000 concrete. And if I summer sloop this, everything gets cut in half. I think that's enough that it'll be worth it to summer sloop that. Which means I'm going to have to find some place with spare summer sloop, unfortunately. Which, where would that even be? Alright, but then let's set up the second row, which the warp drive itself is also a manufacturer. So we need more horizontal space and more vertical space, it looks like. So let's place that here. Say ballistic warp drive. Good news is, it won't take too much time to produce the singularity cells. Producing... yeah, I don't know. So we have that feeding into that. Then we need just 3 boxes. One, two, three. much iron plate? I actually have a lot of iron plates in concrete, right? I think if I clear out my inventory and just haul like most of a crate full, I can get to that pretty easily. So let's just get a whole bunch of random junk out. Cooling systems, probably not needed anymore. Wires. So I'm pretty sure that in a recent... I'm pretty sure I transported like 10,000 iron plates for a hub unlock. So 5,000 should be doable. I think we've refreshed since then. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1,000. I think that's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So I think this is just not quite 5,000 iron plates. So we can head over and put these in. Concrete should be easier because the stack size is much larger. Oop, I hopped over it. So let's throw all of these in. And we have a full box. What do these need? Yeah, that's plenty. Alright, and now we do the same thing with concrete. Which, gosh, the concrete setup is down here. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Easy peasy. The pasta is going to be the hard part. I'm going to have to split it off from the pasta production line. Alright, so you all go into here. And dark matter crystals shouldn't be a huge obstacle. It's not only 100, is it? I think it's supposed to be 1,000. Pretty sure that's supposed to be 1,000. 100 is way low. But anyway, let's find where was the pasta? It was this one, right? Yeah, so let's get a smart splitter with a conveyor lift. And then have that feed into there. And then as far as dark matter crystals, I have 600 here. You also needed to be upgraded. I put those in the wrong box. That box isn't connected anymore. And then I probably also have another couple hundred just over here in this box that I set up for this purpose. Yep, there's another couple hundred. And I think those numbers that I calculated... Just the wrong box again. I think those numbers that I calculated were without this being slooped, but with the next stage being slooped. So I think this should be fine to just start running as soon as the pasta shows up. Which, let's check. We're making it at 2.5 a minute. This is using it at 1 a minute. So we can overclock that. As long as we make the belts real fast. Alright, so that is that. Then we are going to need to find some summer sloops to scrounge together for this one. Because otherwise we would need twice as much of all that stuff, which would be a huge pain. So let's at least get the stuff set up. So we need superposition oscillators. Ooh, superposition oscillators are a shortage at the moment. Our line producing those is not particularly fast. It's like 1 a minute or something. So we need 50 pasta, then I think we might need to fit. I don't know how many pasta stacks to actually. Doesn't say. I assume it's going to be the 50. Oh, I never set this up, so left any center overflow. So that should get this started producing. And then we're going to need to figure out where on earth all of our summer sloops have gone. Or honestly, just find more summer sloops. Could be a reasonable option. Alright, this doesn't need those. So this is slow enough that the summer sloops are going to be important just for time saving. So we'll leave those summer sloops in there, otherwise it'll take forever to produce all the trigons needed. Now let's try to find anywhere else summer sloops are being used. I think they're being used to power this. I think there's an iron. No, apparently not. Where's all this iron coming from? Is this miner being slooped or anything? No. Okay, well, in that case, I think we ought to head out and just try to locate some summer sloops, like in the wild. So let's swap to jetpack, grab some fuel. Probably grabbed enough fuel there to last the rest of the game, honestly. Alright, so switch to scanning for summer sloops. And we launch ourselves. I think the most likely place to where they'll like be densest will probably be over this way, simply because I haven't been over this way nearly as much. And it would be nice. Alright, I have picked one up, flying overhead. It ought to be right down here somewhere. in this tree, perhaps? Yes. Alright. One summer sloop down. There is another in the vicinity, though. So that's pretty cool. Right. It's going to be in a cave. We're going to have to find. Found it. And there are multiple giant hogs here, which I'm going to have to fight. Or maybe I can juke them. Come on, grab quickly. Got it. And now we leave. Alright, so we're up 2 summer sloops. We need probably just another 2 will be sufficient. There's one over here. It's going to be behind this waterfall, isn't it? Alright, there's a hatcher here. Let me get rid of the hatcher. Alright. It's this way, and I'm right next to it. Where are you? Is it down here? No. Is it... Oh, I see something funky in here. Yeah, okay. This is extraordinarily suspicious. And the summer sloop ought to be in this giant cave somewhere. But where exactly? Not sure. Okay. 2 giant spiders. That's not good. Hopefully I can, like, lead them to jumping out the waterfall. Alright. Just gotta find this summer sloop. It's definitely on this side of the cave over here. I want to at least be able to see it. Is it going to be up here? Is this a level of the cave? Not really. Okay. That spider is really going after me. I don't even see the spider anymore, which is always worrying. Also, normally once you find the secret cave that the summer sloop is in, you find the summer sloop too, like it's just there. But seeming to have no such luck here. This probably leads to an exit. No, it leads to a summer sloop. Okay, well. Is this even the same summer sloop? This doesn't seem like the right direction from where that other one was. Yeah, there's definitely a summer sloop over here somewhere. Alright, let's land real quick. I really wish these scanners could tell you vertical as opposed to only strictly horizontal. Make them much, much more useful. Alright, I can't find it. I've looked for a while. I'm going to give up on that one and just try to find another one. Oh, are we... We're in the swamp now. Gross. Well, let's do a quick flyover. There is a summer sloop this way. And it ought to be just in these rocks. Alright, I'm gonna just try to grab this. Alright, I was able to grab it. We're up to 4 sloops, which is enough. So now we just leave. Now we just fly back up to the base. And leave this whole area behind. And possibly never go exploring again. At least in this world. Alright. We're going to need to fly over that spider as well. Easy enough. There's pretty much nothing that can keep up with a rocket fuel jetpack. You can kind of just ignore them and move on with your life. Now, because we took off with the hypertube cannon, we are pretty far away from the base. We can take these power lines to get vaguely in the right direction, but we're going to have to hop off them probably pretty soon. And is this the factory with the hypertube stop? Yes, it is. Alright, that's convenient. So I can just get in there and head back up to the hub. Straight through a tree. It's been a while since I took this. But it is, in this exact instance, the fastest way. So we can move on over. Once we get back to the hub, we can work out the ballistic warp, whatever, whatchamacallits. Start automating them. It looks like the AI control things are almost done already. It's lightning fast for them. Alright. So we're here. Swap to the hover pack. And hover on over. Alright, so we can put those in there. Alright, so that should be... Oh, shoot. Alright, we made a bit of a mistake there. So these don't stack high enough to fit. We did need a box, because we needed 500 of them, not 50. So let's get that box in then. That's a pretty big mistake, but ultimately we've only wasted like a couple minutes. Where are the singularity cells that I picked up? There they are. So we need superposition oscillators, dark matter crystals, and thermal propulsion rockets. Well, we have 32 of these. Dark matter crystals go in here. And the thermal propulsion rockets, did I pick those up or are they just sitting somewhere useless? Right, they're in the process of being made. And it looks like I need to restock something along the line. Alright, so let's get this up there. And get rid of that so we can hook that in. Alright. So, is that correct? Yes, looks like it. So we need more modular engines, which means we need more smart plating and motors, apparently. So let's throw some more motors in. Probably should throw some more rubber in just to be sure. Blunk, blunk. And then smart plating needs reinforced plates and rotors. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, so then that will make modular engines, which will make thermal propulsion rockets, which, again, we don't need that many of, right? We need one each, which means we need 100 of them total. Which means we do need a fair number of modular engines, actually. So I guess one thing we should check is the AI expansion servers. Alright, those have done everything they want to do. Oh boy, cheap viewers. These automated usernames are getting very silly. Alright, so we can at least turn this on and get it started producing. And throw another couple stacks of that in. So thermal propulsion rockets could potentially be an issue there. Superposition oscillators are almost certain to become an issue there. So I need 200 total of those. Yeah. Superposition oscillators are going to be an issue. So this will be running for at least a while. At pretty much just break even on these. which means this will be running super low. So this is going to be making 2.5 because of the smart plating bottleneck, which means this is going to be running like that. So 1 a minute. That's still pretty decent for what we need anyway. So at some point soon we're going to need to swap the nuclear pasta back to going directly into the space elevator. How many dark matter crystals do we need for this? So we need 100 batches of these, which means like 4,000. Yeah, like 4,000 dark matter crystals, which is well more than we have currently. Is there like a convenient way to just farm dark matter crystals? What if we manually make more superposition oscillators from this? No, that needs dark matter crystals and sheets and photonic matter. But it does produce more dark matter than it uses, I think. But the all-clad sheets could be a bit of an issue. Crystal oscillators. And photonic matter, which we have, and dark matter crystals, which we would need to grab from this. So for this to be 312, it would make 31.2 dark matter crystals, which isn't enough to run itself. So we could do dark matter trap, which, in order to use 312 dark matter, would be like 125, maybe flat? No, maybe 124, 24.5. The joy of working out ratios on the fly. So that would be 312 dark matter residue. It would use a shitload of time crystals, but I'm pretty sure I have. I should be able to just bring those in from a box. Slightly more than Mark 1. So let's just throw a bunch of those in. And throw some dark matter crystals in this to get it started. And it'll produce more than it uses, so that's not a concern. But what is a concern is we don't need that to go over there. So it's producing okay, so then we need these crystals to then loop back around into the machine. So this comes around and around. And around. And in. And it's 75 a minute, so this has to be a Mark II belt the whole way. So, as long as that is given enough time crystals, then... and obviously the other ingredients as well, then this should all work. It's going to need more aluminum sheets. Even more of this. 312.5. Is it really 312.5? Yes, it is, apparently. Which means this needs to actually just be a clean, even 125. Which means that this is going to need to be Mark III belts just to that point. So that can fill up with that. We need more all-clad aluminum sheets. Probably those are going to run out quickly. And where was this sending these guys to? Just over this way. So let's take them over to like there, I guess. And then up. And then into this box, which then feeds into that machine, which makes the ballistic warp drives. Alright, and then we take these down and across this way. The chaos. But look how perfectly that threads the needle. Just as planned. And then take that down. And we put that in there. We take that off because it's not needed anymore. And now we are sending the ballistic warp drives into the space elevator. Alright, so that's those. We need superposition oscillators are showing up. That's great. Dark matter crystals. Should be more than enough of those, I think. Why is this only running at 29%? Is it just getting itself sorted out now, I guess? So this box should be filling up more than it is releasing. Time crystal supply is holding steady for now. And let's see, what is there? So this is doing fine. We have 100, 200, 300, 350. I think we need to switch this back so that future nuclear pasta goes to the space elevator, so that can start filling up again. And let's see, is there any way of making this go faster? Well, we can overclock that more and throw more fixite trigons in. How many of these fixite trigons do I need? So I need 750 of those, and it's 10 to 1, so I need 7,500 trigons, which seems manageable. It's like a box or two. Alright, so that's set up. The AI expansion servers are straight up finished. The ballistic warp drives are coming along bit by bit. Thermal propulsion rockets are something we need more of, which everything seems to be holding steady. How about motors, rubber? Alright, everything here seems to be looking fine. Is there any more? I assume this is summer slooped. Yes, that's summer slooped. That is summer slooped. And that is summer slooped. And those are the three things we need. This pressure conversion cube production. Do we have enough of those? Ooh, might not. Alright, let's get some more fused modular frames and radio control units in. Just make another couple of those. Gotta make sure we do not run out of pressure conversion cubes. Currently we have 50... currently we have like 100-ish, which is enough to make like 200-ish nuclear pasta, so we need another 100-ish. So let's get that turned on again. Alright, but I think we have everything set up and running properly, at least to a baseline level. How many thermal propulsion rockets are we even producing? It is one a minute. Okay. So if we have everything set up to a baseline level, that means that in some amount of time... Actually, let's try to figure out what exactly the primary limiting factor is. So this is working 100%, 10 a minute. We need 750. So that will be like 75 minutes, which is like an hour and 15. The AI expansion servers are done already. So this is working 100%, 2 per minute, which we need 180 of, which means like 90 minutes, which means like an hour and a half for this, so slightly longer, but basically the same. And then we have nuclear pasta. 2.5 per minute, 600 left. Is 240, which is like 4 hours. So the TLDR is we need more nuclear pasta production. So, what would we need for that? We would need more summer sloops. We would need 4 more summer sloops. And can we get copper powder production up to 500? Yes. We could. So that would be that. We also have this huge backlog, so it would probably be fine. But we would need, again, we would need 4 more summer sloops for that to sloop up a second particle accelerator and not tank our efficiency. Which, I suppose, no, I mean, we are starting to run low on fused modular frames as well, I think. Yeah. So with fused modular frames being a sticking point, we can't afford to easily just tank our efficiency to double production speed. So let's find some summer sloops. And we need, I think, 5 total. Or, no, we have enough copper powder that 4 summer sloops, maybe even 3 summer sloops, would be fine if we can find them. So, there's definitely some at the supercomputer plant, but those are kind of important. Actually, how many supercomputers do we have? Let's check that out. If we have enough of a backlog of supercomputers, we should be able to take from that without real consequence. We could, of course, just find more in the wild. Oh, I was in hover pack. That's why I was falling. Alright, let's see if there are any summer sloops being used. So this is the neural quantum processors. We have not many of them, but we don't need many of them. We have like 200, that's pretty good. As far as supercomputers are concerned, we have hundreds stashed, which means this should be fine. So we're going to rob those from the supercomputers. And then we are going to double our nuclear pasta production. So instead of like 4 hours, it'll be like 2 hours. And then I suppose we could try to find more to triple it, but I don't know if that's fully necessary. Alright, we need to drop to the ground and burn our last bit of fuel at the last possible second to kill vertical momentum and drop safely. Alright, so now we head over to the nuclear pasta. And switch to hover pack. So let's make a nice space for a second particle accelerator, which I guess will be pointed that way. And we can conveyor splitter and conveyor splitter. And summer sloop. overclock power on. And now we will need to upgrade these belts, probably. Certainly at least prior to this point. So these are now a fair bit faster. How fast do they actually need to be? Uh, 250 there, 250 there. So Mark 5 belts are 780. So that is enough. And then Mark 4 belts and even Mark 3 belts are fine for those. And then we just need to link these up so that they output. And we just stick a merger on there, put that in. Now, pressure conversion cubes are a problem. So we have 50 in there, which is 100. We have 50 in there, which is another 100. We were producing 1 a minute and using 2.5 a minute, which means this just needs that. And there's another, let's see, there's 50 fused modular frames, 100 fused modular frames, which is another 100 pressure conversion cubes, which is another 200 nuclear pasta, which should be enough. I think we need twice as many radio control units as fused modular frames, so let's get those in. And I believe that should be that. Now we just need to run around a couple times and check that all of this stuff is working. Dark matter crystal is not currently working. So let's head to this box and fill her up. Or not, apparently. Alright, so this is... Oh, these belts just aren't even fast enough for the sheets. And it needs a restock. And it needs more crystal oscillators for down the line. So with the belts upgraded, this should run at 100%, which should make all of this work properly. And these time crystals also need a restock. There's a reason you don't play like this normally, and it's because this kind of sucks to do. So let's grab all of those. And I guess it would be easiest to just have a smart splitter there and have that be left overflow. And you go up here and cross over that and in. So that is all well and good. This is getting everything it needs now. This is getting everything it needs, at least for the time being. So it's all very unstable, but it should all be working. That's 100%. This is 100%. Alright, let's call that done then. And I suppose find something else to do while we wait for like 2 hours for that. And I think annoyingly this will... I think I might just have the stream run long then to get this finished in today, because I mean it would be super awkward to start a stream and like finish the game in the first 15 minutes of the stream and then have nothing and then do something else, I guess. But let's unlock this real quick. Although we need 500 fused frames for that. Alright, that can be my next project, which is heading over to the fused frame factory and seeing if something is wrong, because theoretically it shouldn't be this low. If I can remember where the fused frame factory is, that would be helpful. I think it's over, like, on the way-ish to the fuel, but not quite. I actually think there might be a radar tower labeling it. So that's RCU. I don't know. We're gonna have to check the drones to see where exactly... Oh, was it over here? Like, just past the fuel stuff. Is this it? Yes. And it is broken. That makes sense why we aren't getting any then. Aluminum casings are short. Alright. Why are aluminum casings short? Because aluminum ingots are short. Why are aluminum ingots short? Because scrap is short. Why is scrap short? Because water buildup in the pipes. As expected. These always tend to be the problems. So let's see here. This is 70 water per minute coming out of this pipe. Boy, this factory is kind of a mess, isn't it? So then this heads down here and goes into one of these fancy junctions. Which, yeah, I mean, this whole thing is backed up. Let's flush a fluid buffer. So that fluid buffer was meant to prevent this exact problem, and obviously it has failed. So we're going to flush it. And this would be a temporary fix to that problem. Gosh, I cannot wait. My next factory, I'm going to do things differently. And I'm not going to have all these tiny little, like, aluminum mini factories that each break individually. I'm just going to have one giant thing with, like, separate machines fed only by the byproduct water, and it just won't be an issue. Okay, but simply flushing that should cause all of this to start kicking into gear again. It might take a while. So I guess the next step to fixing this permanently would be valves. So this is 100 water. This is the water coming in from up there. That's the fluid buffer. So if I put a valve here and say only 30, only 30 can go this way. Then the other 70 will come down this way, and it should all work. But of course, just simply flushing that fluid pipe should get most of this kicked into gear again for the time being. It's taking a while to trickle up, but yeah, scrap is being produced again, which means aluminum ingots are being produced, which means aluminum casings are being produced, which we can follow this up. The aluminum casings are making their way into this machine, and once this kicks in, then everything else will start moving again as well. Yeah, aluminum is one of the things that I'm most excited about for my next game, to just all make in one big place, test that one big place rigorously, make sure it works, and then just have aluminum and never have to worry about this nonsense ever again. Because wow, this is a pain to have to fix like aluminum failings in like 5 different separate factories. Alright, so fuse frames are up and running again and should be reaching 100% over time, and hopefully that valve will permanently resolve the issue. Why are you flashing yellow? Yeah, so you're still having just barely enough ingot supply, I guess. So sometimes it doesn't quite work. But everything is kicking into gear. These things should start working soon. So this is heavy modular frames, which are lacking regular modular frames. So this is a separate problem, possibly. What has gone wrong with the modular frames? No reinforced plates. No reinforced plates because no iron plates. No iron plates because no plastic. And there is plastic, it's just showing up very slowly. So the plastic didn't happen because polymer resin wasn't available. Polymer resin wasn't available because some nonsense over here with concrete, maybe. So if we drop down here, polymer resin wasn't available because the entire thing had just like generically stopped, which meant that heavy oil backed up. So this shouldn't be a problem anymore, although we're going to have weird splitting because of it. for a while. And unfortunately, there isn't much I can do about that aside from just pretending the problem is solved by throwing in rubber there and plastic here. Alright, so that doesn't solve the problem, but it simulates this problem being solved and should do so for long enough that the problem will resolve itself by the time it becomes a problem again. Alright, so plastic should now be appearing. Once this wave of plastic hits, then this iron will be producing 100% for the foreseeable future. Alright, so that plastic is showing up. But yeah, I think I would like to wait around and see this factory fully kick into gear. The heavy modular frames not being produced isn't a problem for now. It will be soon, though. And these iron plates still not showing up nearly fast enough. But they are starting to show up. And this is going to be a whole manifold problem. So let's manually fill those. Once again, the problem hasn't been solved, but now we can pretend it's solved. Likewise with reinforced plates. We can fill those up. And then we can put some modular frames in here. And that should get everything running-ish again. Alright, that's another factory fixed. Why are these running at 0%? Oh, so this is part of the heavy modular frame production line, which isn't running because the regular modular frames haven't been there. So now this will all start running again, and this factory is pretty much just good to go now. Now, I suppose we should probably head back and check on the space elevator. I don't want it to be stopped for a significant amount of time while I'm away doing other things. So since we have hypertube cannons to launch us about real quick, we can stop by for a checkup. While we're near this, I'm looking at all of the lights. They all seem to be green. So that seems good to go. And back up to the space elevator. So we can cruise along. To 690 nuclear pasta, 460 biomechanical sculptures, and 66 ballistic warp drives. 67 ballistic warp drives. And 692 nuclear pasta. Oh. Alright. Took a little bit of damage, nothing significant. Alright, let's see. So this is the ballistic warp drives, and it is still running, but it seems like dark matter crystals remain somewhat of a limitation. And all clad aluminum sheets are a limitation here. We're going to need to stop by the actual factory for those and just grab like a crate worth of them, I think. Because, I mean, we can put in 600. This uses 112 a minute. So it literally lasts us for 6 minutes, which is abysmal. And in fact, can we... Is there anything we can salvage some summer sloops from for that? Because having that be literally just twice as efficient would be pretty great. But I can't think of any other factories which have their outputs being slooped. Suppose we can rob the copper powder. Although, how is the copper powder supply doing? Actually, pretty poorly. So we can get one summer sloop from there. Just have to check all of these machines. There's 2. This is being slooped. And this needs another fill of fixite trigons to keep it going. Alright, well, we can get 3 sloops in there at least, which should help out a lot. And I think the superposition oscillator side of this is actually fine. What we need to sloop are the dark matter crystals. We have enough superposition oscillators at this point. I'm not worried about that anymore. But it would certainly be nice to have just even more dark matter crystals coming out. And upgrade that all the way over there. And upgrade this all the way in this box. So now we should hopefully be producing enough dark matter crystals to keep this running. You only need like 40 a minute. How many dark matter crystals did we need for this? We needed 40 per 2, which is 20 per 1, which is, hang on, 125 times 20 is 2,500. So 2,500 dark matter crystals is like 10 minutes. We're producing like 300. So it's a little more than 10 minutes of production, although a significant portion of that is going into just keeping up the production. Let's just restock that with sheets. Crystal oscillators supply should be good. The important thing is the dark matter crystals. Alright, so that... How fast is this? 2 per minute. And we need 125 divided by 2. So that will be like an hour for that. Assuming we can get this to run at its full potential speed, which I don't know if we can, but we'll try. The crystal oscillators we have, or superposition oscillators we have more than enough of. And is there a better way? We could just convert some SAM. Hang on, let's see. Converter. Since we don't need any more superposition oscillators, we should look at the best ways of getting dark matter residue. This is 50 a minute for 100, so to keep up with the 300 we need 150 reanimated SAM a minute, so that's actually worse. And quantum encoder missing turbo motors. Has the turbo motor factory failed? That's surprising. That was running perfectly for ages. I checked it a bunch of times when I was over there doing the rocket fuel stuff, because it was right next to me, and it always seemed to be working. Alright, let's see. So this is short on rubber. I'd probably better throw some motors in for good measure. Blonk, 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 blonk. And motors. Smart plating is low on rotors, which probably means it's almost low on reinforced plates as well, so let's just chuck a couple of those in. Alright, that should be able to run for a while. In the meantime, let's see, that is up to like 200. So we're going to throw in one last set of aluminum into this, and then we're going to check out the turbo motor factory, which should be fine, but evidently is not. So let's head over and see what's happened to our turbo motors. Unless it might... There's no way it's just yeah, turbo motor factory is definitely broken. We're gonna have to do some investigating. And I'm still in jetpack mode for some reason. So turbo motor factory is all the way down here. Right, it's that smaller factory next to the giant rocket fuel tower. So let's drop in and see what's gone wrong. Is it aluminum backup? It might... I can't remember if these even use aluminum. Alright, where's the final output? It's over here. Alright, cooling systems have broken. Now, why? What has happened to cause the cooling systems to not work? So this is that. heat sinks. Alright, so what has caused heat sinks not to work? Aluminum casings. Ding, ding, ding. And aluminum ingots. And aluminum scrap. And water backlog. It's so predictable. This one even had a valve. Alright, well, let's flush the fluid buffer. So that should cause some action. It won't solve the problem, but it will address it for quite a while. I mean, this was literally running for like weeks just fine. Alright, so we flushed the fluid buffer. It is starting to fill up again, which should mean we are once again producing aluminum scrap, and everything will start to turn on again. Alright, another fun little aluminum-related problem solved. It sure is nice having to do this every single time in every single location. While we're here, let's check over on the power plant, see how it is going. Surprisingly green. I think I still see some yellow. I did spend some time just mucking about, mostly just adding additional pipes onto a lot of places. So I'm pretty sure this does work much better than it did. I don't know if it hits 100%. The weird thing is, like, some of these rows were fine and others were not. Yeah, so this one is short on turbo fuel, which... oh, I think... I'm going to be doing nuclear power next time around, which will probably be much more complicated, but also will probably require more solid stuff and less fluid stuff. Let's actually check. No. Uranium fuel rod is a bunch of solids. It's made of two things which are entirely solid, and a case uranium cell, which can be made entirely solid, or it could be made with sulfuric acid, which produces sulfuric acid byproduct, which sounds miserable. So yeah, I think having a solid having all of that be solid will be quite nice. So as far as waste, you can use it to make some uranium, which can be used to make plutonium, which can be used to make power. Or it can be used to make encased plutonium cells, which is probably what you actually use for power. Used to produce plutonium fuel rods for power production. And I'm seeing a whole lot of solid stuff. So yeah, that will be the nice thing of using nuclear fuel, which the only fluids will be water for the cooling, which is fine. Now, while we were monologuing about stuff that is completely irrelevant for the current game, we should pop over here and see what's going on. Cooling systems are still short, but they are coming. So it's just a matter of it took them a while to get all figured out. So turbo motor production is back online for the time being until something breaks and it no longer works, which is fine. Now the biomechanical sculptor production doesn't seem to be going as fast as it should be. Like, that should be... It might have broken somehow. I'll have to go over and investigate that. So let's head back up to the main base and take a look. Up we go. I'm flying. Yeah, it seems like there should be an intended way of flying like this. Because it's just so cool. It's just so convenient, and the only way to do it is by exploiting what is like blatantly a glitch. Alright, so we are back here. And yeah, this isn't running fast enough because of the fixite trigons. So let's throw some more in there. And then head out to the place where they're actually being manufactured and stored and see if hopefully there's a giant chunk that we can just transport all at once. So those ought to be over this way somewhere. In the forest with the giant trees. It'll be a miracle if I can spot it. It's not that, I don't think. It doesn't have the right kind of machines. Plus, I'm pretty sure it's further out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this over here. Now, please say there are thousands of fixite trigons sitting around. And I haven't just been using them all. There are. Alright, cool. Let's grab these. How does it... Alright, so that box is feeding into dimensional storage. So that line isn't working, which is fine with me for now. Alright, well, I'm not entirely sure why I set that up the way I did, but it's fine. It does what I want it to do at the moment, which is give me a huge stockpile of fixite trigons that I can then just hop over and put in that machine. So we're up to 50% on the ballistic warp drives, 78% on the nuclear pasta, and just over 50% on the biomechanical sculptures. Alright, that particular hypertube cannon is not quite powerful enough. We're going to have to manually walk the rest of the way, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Still managed to cut off like 3/4 of the journey, and especially like the most difficult 3/4. Alright, so let's first of all check time crystals. Need to be restocked here. And aluminum is going to need to be restocked here. Two, three. And fixite needs to be restocked over here. So this restock should carry pretty much all the fixite we need. I shouldn't need to do further restocks of it. That should be enough. And because of that, yes, this should be able to run at 100% for the rest of the game. And how many is it producing? 10 a minute. So like 40 minutes for that. Should be fine. Nuclear pasta. Is this still running? That's still going. That's still going. Is the copper powder supply holding up? It might not be. It's not doing great, but it's probably doing well enough. Probably doing well enough. Thermal propulsion rocket supply continues to dwindle, but it should be working. We are getting modular engines in. Rubber is short again. It sure does use a lot of rubber. And smart plating should be fine. Yeah, smart plating should be fine. Just kind of a little bit worried about all of this. How is... Alright, we are completely clean out of pressure conversion cubes. Literally like 6 spares. But they are still producing some. So let's throw more fused modular frames in. And more radio control units in. So that should hold us on for the rest of that. And now the only thing to check up on is the dark matter crystals. Do we have a huge stockpile of dark matter crystals? 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, almost 1,200. More like 1,400, and we needed like 100, so it's 20 to 1, so we need 90 times 20, so we need 1,800 dark matter crystals for the rest of this. We have 1,200. And still more being produced. Let's fill these up. Fill this up just a little bit more, make sure that doesn't run out. Time crystals are looking fine. Alright, I think we should be clear to go. I think everything should be good. And I guess do a time check. So these are 2.5 each. So that's 180 divided by 5. So that's like half an hour for those. This is 100 divided by 2, which is going to be like 45 minutes there. And then if we hop over to this, we have like 400 to go, but 10 a minute, so like 40 minutes there. They should all end at right about the same time. Alright, so we just need to spend 40 minutes doing something. And I guess we can hop over here. Actually, let's buy some stuff from the awesome shop. So I have plans of being more decorative. So this game has very much been like finish it, get it done as a game. Like I just want to be able to say, hey, I finished. In the future, my next game, I am going to be at least a little more decorative, and also I'm going to be producing permanent factories for space elevator parts. So that'll be fun. So with that in mind, my next, what was I going to buy? Let's just buy all of this. I have like 180. I wonder if I can buy out the entire shop except for the trophies. That would be cool. Alright, that's the customizer shop bought out.
Fixit does not guarantee improvement of workplace readability, efficiency, or safety with use of these patterns, since the process of deployment
You
is
can spend
dependent
100 tickets on a
hardware
hard
skill.
drive. It doesn't seem like a fantastic deal. You can't buy Mercer Spheres or Summer Sloops, I assume. No. Alright. Well, let's head over here. So this is a Blueprint Mark II. Let's get a Blueprint Mark I next to it. Just like over there, I guess. So this is 4 foundations by 4 foundations. This is 5 foundations by 5. The next one up is 6 by 6. Let's see. Can you actually fit... Alright. Nuclear power plants simply do not fit in these. They probably would fit in a higher tier. So the power plants aren't going to be able to be put in blueprints. Everything else is going to be relatively comfortably. So if I just like fill that foundation in, how much stuff can I put in a single blueprint? So let's say we have a manufacturer and like directly above the manufacturer it's going to be this floor to prevent clipping, and even then it might clip a little bit. Yeah, okay, so we can have our manufacturer there. So we can have a floor with a manufacturer, we can have say, a floor with some assemblers. Is there room for a third floor up there? Probably not. So let's see, this would definitely clip, right? Yes. Will this clip? No. So you could have this floor here. Can you put anything interesting on it, like even like a constructor or something? Yeah, you could put constructors here. Or assemblers, even. Manufacturers don't look like they fit in officially, but technically do, I guess. So that's worth considering. You can save some time on the top, save some space on the top floor by having the manufacturer go a little bit out past. And then we also do have room for these, like, sort of logistics floors. So I'm just trying to get us like a scope of how much stuff you can fit in a single blueprint. Like, say this is making heavy modular frames. Would I be able to fit an assembler for that, a constructor for that, an assembler for that? So 2 assemblers, 2 constructors, I could do that, right? I could have 2 assemblers here, 2 constructors up here. So you could fit the quote-unquote entire heavy modular frame production line in a single blueprint. And then you could have another blueprint that produces like the iron ingots and whatnot for these things. So if you were really compact, let's see, you might want to input the encased industrial beams and modular frames. So that's the other question, is you don't have to necessarily make all of these on site, but I think for my next game, I would probably want to input, like, what? This would be reinforced plates, rods or screws, ingots, more ingots and concrete. It would be close, but you could probably fit a significant chunk of this in to a single blueprint, and then have, like, basically the idea would be a stack of blueprints, one of which does the final assembly, the rest of which do the individual parts. So the one way to do this would be to have a blueprint that assembles all of these 4 things and the heavy modular frames itself. That would be incredibly tight, but maybe possible. The other way would be to have 4 blueprints, one which produces each of these, and then one blueprint that produces this, which would be a lot less tight, but arguably just would be wasting space. If we did it the latter way, that would be easily stackable. Like, then when you wanted to make fused frames, you could... No, if we did it that way, we'd have to place a ton of blueprints for everything, and it would basically just be producing a whole production line. So doing it this way with as much compact inside a single blueprint as possible would make fused frames much easier. So let's see, like, in actual practice, let's see if we can actually make this. So we need something to make modular frames, which could be reinforced plates and rods, but that would add rods into the list of things I need. So making modular frames out of reinforced plates and screws would mean I need a huge amount of screws. Whereas making it out of steel would mean alright. Let's try to think here. We have modular frames, steel pipes, encased industrial beams, and screws. Encased industrial beams are going to be the big hassle. Those need steel pipes and concrete. So this would need steel pipes and reinforced plate. So now the inputs to this... Alright. Then we would need screws and more steel pipes. Would these be easier? Yes, this would be easier. Heavy encased frame. So that would cut the need for screws out. And then the inputs would be concrete, steel pipes, concrete and steel pipes, and steel pipes and reinforced plates. So the inputs to this factory would just be reinforced plates, concrete, and steel pipes. Is that correct? Yeah. And so then we would have this assembler making modular frames out of reinforced plates and steel pipes. This one making encased industrial beams out of steel pipes and concrete. And then just the inputs would go directly into here for the last two, and we could do like 3 floors, like encased industrial beams there, reinforced plates there, heavy modular frames on the top floor. Yeah, I'm going to try to actually just make this. So first of all, let's make this a complete floor. And move it like that, so there's some space behind it, and a lot of space in front of it. So now we put floor holes there, 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 and there. And put the lifts in. And say heavy encased frames. So we need 2 of these to come from inside the factory, 2 of them to come from outside. Alright, so this is going to be a floor of assemblers for modular frames. And how many modular frames do we need for this? 7.5 ideally. So we could probably fit 3 assemblers in here if we push them out. We do need walls. Can we just... make sure walls fit in this whole thing on both sides. Alright. Now we have walls in. And we can go assembler, 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 steeled frame, steeled frame, steeled frame. And we could have this being fed from floor holes like that, conveyor lifts like that, which I guess would have to... I guess in order for this to work as compact as it is, it would need to be a sushi belt, which is fine, I guess. So we'll have that be a sushi belt and run along this entire thing. And then we take... Oh, the output is going to be a bit jank because it's on the wrong side. So we would need to get these out and over to any one of these. And this would be the easiest. So have that like that, and then that like that. And so this would all work. I'm not completely setting up perfectly because this is just like a proof of concept for how much you can do in one thing. Okay, and now we would need to squeeze the other three things like up and past this floor. So like there, there, and there. So that goes up. That goes up. That goes up. Those three go there. And then those get fed into that. And then this bottom floor, we have assemblers for encased industrial beams. So how many of those do I need? So if these are 3, 6, so that would be enough to make a full manufacturer. So then this, so we need 9.375 encased industrial beams. So let's set up the assemblers for those. How many do we need? Just another 3, which again should be doable, but we're going to put these further to the back for space reasons. So then they would get their inputs through a conveyor wall. Alright, so the inputs are coming in through a conveyor wall. This needs to be a sushi belt with reinforced iron plates and steel pipes on it. Actually, I think a we need 3, right? Alright, so we have our conveyor wall. So we would have reinforced plates and steel pipes. Hang on. So this would be encased industrial beam, encased industrial beam, encased industrial beam. So we need these to no, these need to be pipe, encased industrial pipe for all of these. So these need steel pipe and concrete, which again I think we're going to do a sushi belt. Oh, but the sushi belts are going to need sinks. So I guess we can work that in. Alright, so let's get these set up. So this would be the sushi belt feeding these, and it would be feeding steel pipes and concrete. So we need steel pipes and concrete to split. All right, so this is going to be the tricky part. So we have a splitter for steel pipes and concrete, and I think having a single conveyor wall is going to be much harder than just having them spread out nice and far, so we have some space to work with. So let's say that this is steel pipes and it splits, and some of it goes into the sushi belt, which, why is this sushi belt facing this way? It doesn't matter, we can figure it out. So half of it would go into the sushi belt, the other half would go up to another future thing, and this would be the concrete. Right, the sushi belt would need a merger. I don't know. So this would be a smart splitter with an input that way. So this is going to be like that. So then it gets some of it. So this would be the steel pipes. This would be the concrete. So half of it would come up, and that's a splitter, not a merger. Thank you, very cool. So half of it would come up and into that. So that would be this floor set up with its steel pipes and its concrete. The other half would go up to future floors. And then this would be the reinforced plates, which are just going to go up. And they would need to merge with the steel pipes, which we're saying is this one. Does that work as a merger? Alright, so these two merge. No, that doesn't look like that works. So we would need a merger like, I don't know, there maybe. And then those two would feed into it. And it would go up. And into the next floor, if we get this set up properly. They need to be like perfectly aligned. So like that. And then in like there. So then that would be that. And then basically what I'm saying here is I'm fairly certain that this works. It's very difficult, but I think we can get everything up. So we would need to grab something at the end of a sushi belt to wrap back up so that we have undisturbed versions, but it should be doable. I'm going to head back and check to make sure there are no last-minute failures in the space elevator. We have half an hour. Alright, what were we doing here? So this isn't getting any new stuff. Out of thermal propulsion rockets. And almost out of singularity cells. So we have 30 singularity cells, which is enough for 6 runs, which is 18, which is not enough. Which is a huge problem because that needs nuclear pasta to fix. No, this needs dark matter crystals to fix. So you can get some dark matter crystals and start making some more of those singularity cells. And then, as far as this one's dark matter crystals, should have plenty. And the propulsion rockets. Why are the propulsion rockets not working? Not enough modular engines. Cooling systems are low as well. Alright, let's throw the cooling systems in. Everything else seems to be fine. More freaking rubber shortages. How much rubber does this use? It uses so much rubber so quickly. Alright, so that will have set us back somewhat. Smart plating is fine. Motors are fine-ish. I'll throw some more in just to be sure. And run back here. Confirm these are doing just fine on the nuclear pasta side. More than enough pressure conversion cubes and evidently enough copper powder, although it might be starting to run dry. We have another row. We have one more row of copper powder, and then that will be an issue, but it shouldn't be a problem in the long run. The stupid thermal propulsion rockets are the problem. Do I have Is there anywhere where I can summer sloop a nuclear propulsion rocket? Literally any summer sloop anywhere. How is this looking? Still looking completely fine. And I could take its summer sloops. So if I give it that and take its summer sloops, I can feed them to the nuclear propulsion rocket to get more of those. So that'll make the rubber go further. Speaking of which, I should probably just throw in all I've got. We only need like a couple cycles of this, but so modular engines are being doubled. Thermal propulsion rocket incoming. 99. Alright, so that is good to go. Now, how much damage has that done to my production rate? So I need 33 2 per minute, so like 16 minutes for those. So I need 16 minutes and 16 thermal propulsion rockets. So that should be done in no time. Nuclear pasta is chugging along. This will be, it's down to 5 per minute, so 44 divided by 5. Still 8 minutes, so this will still be faster. I will throw some more fixite trigons in just to make sure it can get over the finish line. What was this box? Oh, that was the assembly directory systems. Yep, that's fine. Actually, another potential concern is reanimated SAM. Yeah, this reanimated SAM is not being produced fast enough. Now, fortunately, I've imported a huge number of fixite ingots, so it isn't really a concern, but it is something to note. Modular engines, check. Thermal propulsion rockets, check. Now, is there anything more I can do to speed this up? Yes. With making twice as many thermal propulsion rockets, it now makes sense to overclock this. So that only works because I slooped the thermal propulsion rockets. So they're up to 2 per minute. And throw in even more rubber, and we are on the brink of finishing. We are at 990 nuclear pasta. I could take that summer sloop and use it for something, probably. I'm not quite sure what, but we have all of the dark matter crystals we need. So that is summer slooped. Yeah, I don't really think there's necessarily even a need for it. Because this is already slooped up. I guess I could sloop that up to 4.375 just to make even more certain we are not running out of stupid rubber. And that will also let me overclock this just a little bit. Something like that. Cooling systems are low again. We don't really have that many of them. Fused frames. Are fused frames going to be an issue? No. We'll have like hundreds of them. Alright, nuclear pasta at 998, and I see 2 more heading along a belt. Oh, there's all sorts. Nuclear pasta is about to be done, which means we can rob it of its summer sloop. And I think that this machine over here, we took its summer sloop, which is making it a bit slower. Congratulations, you've been upgraded. Alright, so that is that. Nuclear pasta is done and officially backing up at the space elevator entrance. You love to see it. The ballistic thingamabobs are going to be the bottleneck here. Can I meaningfully speed this up at all? A little bit. I can make that up to 2.5. So we're making 5 a minute with 23 left over, so like 5 minutes, and we'll be done. Alright, let's just hop around and wait. Oh, I'm gonna have to upgrade that belt so that the dark matter can keep up, because that's up to 100 per minute, which is a lot. Thermal propulsion rocket usage should be fine. We are producing more than we're using. Alright, we are at 992 of the biomechanical sculptors, and they come in packages of 8, I think. Well, they come in packages of 8 when they're summer slooped. So this package will get us to 996, and then that one will get us to 1,000, and then that will be done. We are on the cusp for everything except the stupid ballistic warp things. What are they called? Ballistic warp drives? And there's not much we can do to speed this up at this point. Just have to wait. Actually, our singularity cell's going to be short again. They're missing concrete. Really. Alright, have several thousand concrete. And a couple hundred iron plates to go with it. It has all the nuclear pasta it could ever need. And it is still missing dark matter, which I apparently can't do much about. Yep, we are now low on singularity cells. I should be able to summer sloop this. No, I already took it from that one. Take it from that one. And throw those in there. So the next couple batches will produce a ton of singularity cells. That is using 12.5 a minute. This is producing 50 a minute. So we should be good to go there. Maybe grab a stack of these. Alright, we're at 191. We are at 191 ballistic warp drives. We have all of the prerequisites. The thermal propulsions and everything. It's just a matter of waiting for these next couple batches to get to the end. So there's 2 in the pipeline there, 2 there. So there's 4 in transit right now, 6 in transit now. So up to 197 once these reach them. Yeah, we're gonna be done. We're gonna be done in no time. Like, we're at the point where belt transportation time is arguably the single biggest limiting factor because I'm using Mark 1 belts for all of these. So we're at 193, that's 195, that's 197. Alright, those 2 were 199. So the next batch after these 2... The next batch after these 2 will be the last one. And there it is now, folks. The final ballistic warp drives we need. Heading along a very slow Mark 1 elevator lift. And down they go. Now they're just on a very slow Mark 1 belt, which we'll let it be slow, you know, for this is a momentous occasion. And let's ride with them down. Apparently not. All right, there we go. This one right in front of me. This is number 200. And in. Alright. Now we head over and we seal. Alright. Off it goes.
Unsurprisingly, here's another presentation, but don't worry, I have improved it. This last delivery will be the most important action you have ever taken. Perhaps you want to take a moment to contemplate the gravity of your achievements.
I am contemplating.
Alright, that's enough. This is the end of the Save the Day program. All you need to do is wait for the automated Phase 5 construction to complete. Simply throw the lever and further instructions will be supplied when relevant.
Alright. We are ascending. Step back. And off we go. Hey, look at
Phase
drone.
5 completed. Return to the space elevator after the resources have been processed and added to project assembly. Launch can then be initiated from there. While waiting, please do not break anything. Solve any
Alright.
issues immediately and efficiently. Ensure your power network is stable. Perhaps it is best if you do not touch anything at all. And stay close to the space elevator. This will only take a moment.
Alright. So that seems to be done. So now I guess we... current instruction. Check oil. Click. Set fuel injection level to 5. Check. Activate bus B1. Left stabilizer to 9. Right stabilizer to 4. It's a fun little mini game that we get to do. Gyroscopic balancer X on. Gyroscopic balancer Y on. Gyroscopic balancer Z on. Finalizing preparations. Oh. It's very dark. Launch project assembly. Launch. Alright.
Initiating project assembly. Assembly. Attaching cargo to main body.
Alright. It's doing an animation. Alright. It has officially turned
Leveling
90
inner and
degrees.
outer rings. Attaching propulsion to main body.
Alright. It seems to be assembling.
Fuel lines connected. Attaching control center to main body.
This is pretty cool. I like the almost like space opera, but from the ground. No, drone, you're ruining
Running
you're
systems
ruining
check.
my view.
All systems online. Releasing propulsion cage.
Alright.
Releasing clamps. Running pre-launch checks and calculating flight path. Locking in cargo. Launch in T-minus 10. 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Liftoff.
Alright. It's moving. Off it goes. Yeah, that's the wrong angle to appreciate this, I think. Alright. Off it goes. I hope it doesn't destroy me with the engine wash. That would be annoying. Alright. Releasing fireworks. Alright. Not entirely sure what that's all about. Oh. Whoa. Pretty cool light show. seems very close when I'm down near the ground and it's framed by all that stuff. Hovering like this is better. Alright. And it's off. Alright. We've done it. With remarkable timing. 4 minutes before when the stream is usually ends. We have finished Project Assembly and beaten the game. Also, why is this yellow? Iron plate shortage. Well, okay. I shouldn't be caring about this.
Connection with QAR-437 nucleus established and stable. Dispersion initiated. Reinstancing master nucleus to QAR-436 Akicha, B1. Hello, this is Ada, your new local instance of Ada.
Oh boy.
On behalf of Ada, myself, and all of Fixit, I want to congratulate you on saving the day. Every single kitten and puppy would thank you if they could.
Yay.
You have proven yourself to be a worthwhile and productive member of the human race, and have contributed something to this universe that will forever change it.
Huzzah!
Thanks to your achievements, the next generation of pioneers can now take to the stars and construct, automate, explore and exploit, alongside me. Additionally, you have been promoted to local production manager, effective immediately.
That's what I always
Your
needed, a
duties to
promotion.
Project Assembly may be complete, but your duties to Fixit remain. With your help, Fixit continues to make the universe a better place. Stay efficient. Stay with Fixit.
Alright. We did it. And the credits roll. Alright, all in all, great game. I'm gonna be playing another round of this. I'm gonna be doing things differently. I've fiddled around with blueprints, and I pretty much know that it's possible, so I'm gonna be doing that. Alright. I wonder how long the credits are. This is an indie studio, so they're probably not that long. You can still move around while the credits are rolling. It's kind of unnerving not being able to see a third of your screen. But yeah, that's that, I guess. Hang out by this power slug and enjoy my success. I've officially beaten a game. Yeah, I enjoyed it too. It's been a fun time. The credits seem to be wrapping up, maybe? We're at the phase where it's giving the localization credits. Alright. So, yeah, I guess once the credits roll, I will be wrapping up the stream. Thanks for everyone for hanging around. It's been a good time. We will, of course, be back playing Satisfactory on Monday on a new save. So we can all look forward to that. I'm going to be doing things very differently from how I did it this time around. It's going to involve, entirely different systems, and hopefully will be much more effective than the way I did it this time, which sort of definitely struggled to get the last few complicated things done. Next time should be much more efficient. So make sure to follow me around for that. I'll be doing that Monday, Magic the Gathering Tuesday and Thursday as usual. Just filling time until the credits finish. Why? So I guess I can investigate this. What is going on with the plates? what exactly is going on with the iron plates here? So this is where the iron plates come from, and they are not getting enough iron ingots. And the reason they aren't getting enough iron ingots is probably because I took some power shards out of those or something. It should be sufficient. Alright. I think the credits have ended. Alright, autosave complete. And yep, that's where we end the stream. Make sure to follow. I'll be back here on Monday. See ya.